I do understand the need for the previously, but if we're going to have a previously, I have to remind you that these two episodes, they're 123 cloisters each.
I have no choice. Oh, do excuse me.
You get one fart joke to remind us who she is. One. That is your one freebie. But, seeing as I've been interrupted anyway, I might as well take this chance to remove one cloister for the early reveal, because I think that it really helps the episode, and I'm so glad that they didn't try to hide it. Also, the fact that it is Margaret that was the survivor is worth removing one as well. Annette Badland is amazing in that sweet yet menacing character way.
Am I right in thinking you've shown your results only to me?
Just to you, no one else.
Wise move.
Mr. Cleaver seems smart enough to have already started connecting the death to the mayor, so why does he go to her first? BBC.
Captain Jack Harkness, whatever you...
How many times? Squadron leader.
Managed to find it.
There you go.
I can go anywhere now.
I told you you don't need a passport.
So
This seems like a really awful excuse, especially when she knows Mickey would come without actually giving a reason. Also, this acts as one of the examples as to why I start to hate Rose. She lies to Mickey to get him to come all the way to Cardiff just so that she can see him, when she could easily hop home for a day. Also, if she hops home for a day, not only does that mean that Mickey doesn't have to travel halfway across the country, it means that she could see her mother, who she promised she would go back for 10 seconds later, and then hasn't seen for 6 months. I really dislike how Rose mistreats her family, and this is one of the first examples of it.
The rift was healed back in 1869.
thanks to a girl named Gwyneth, because these creatures called the Gelf, they were using the rift as a gateway, but she's...
One thing Russell T Davies does really well is use his own continuity that he's set up. So, for example, using the Gelf episode here as an actual explanation. I really like that, so I'm going to remove a cloister.
like filling her up with petrol and off we go!
Into time and space!
So I was going to come up with a comment for that really weird three-way high-five thing, but Mickey manages to put it really well.
God, have you seen yourselves? You're that old lady staring.
That's actually a good question. The chameleon circuit should still be avoiding attention like that. Why is she staring?
What are you captain of? The innuendo squad?
Oh, Jack. If only Squadron Leader Jack had responded positively to that, I would have allowed him to be captain from now on. Such a shame.
Copy the real thing, there actually was police boxes.
Yeah, on street corners.
If Ricky was researching the Doctor for a full year between Rose and Aliens of London, how does he not know that police boxes actually existed?
What, a mysterious blue box slap bang in the middle of town. What do they do? Walk past it. Now stop your nagging, let's go and explore.
Well, actually, thanks to this show, which technically Classic Series confirms it still exists in this universe, no, a lot of people would notice the police box. Also, we know that at this time Torchwood is in operation, with a base right under the TARDIS. Even if Jack is discouraging it, there's no way that the organisation looking for the Doctor wouldn't jump on this within an hour or two, let alone 12.
And the wind's coming from the east. Trust me, safest place in the universe.
Well, that's not jinxing it at all, is it?
Nuclear power station right in the heart of Cardiff City will bring jobs for all.
Jobs for all is a bit of an extreme statement there. Let's just say the power plant makes 1,000 new jobs, which seems a bit high to me. The unemployment rate in 2005 Cardiff was around 14,000, so we're talking significantly under 10% there.
As you can see, as Lord Mayor, I've had to sanction some radical redevelopments.
As Lord Mayor, first of all, Lord Mayor is mostly a ceremonial role, you know, like ribbon cutting, opening stores, things like that. Secondly, later on there is a headline that calls her the new mayor, which means that she's been Lord Mayor for weeks, maybe a month. Not long enough to start uprooting policies, especially to such an extreme, to make a ceremonial role into one that can make such drastic changes.
No photographs, what did I say?
How did she become Lord Mayor without becoming a known face in publicity? Also, she's justifiably very clearly paranoid about someone finding her, so why is she still in Margaret's skin? Even if we ignore the whole hiding logic, why wouldn't she take the skin of someone with more power and therefore easier to become mayor?
So,
Cardiff Castle will be demolished, allowing the Blythe Droog project to rise up.
Cardiff Castle is assumably protected as a landmark, so it won't be demolished, like ever, let alone with only 6 months of work. Also, the size of Cardiff Castle is not really big enough for a power station. Also, this seems like the perfect time to stop and realise that she can't have done all this in 6 months. She can't have become mayor in 6 months, let alone anything else. In order to become Lord Mayor, you have to have been a governor, and then get elected in by the other governors. This would take a lot of time, money, reputation, and work to achieve. Just getting the mayor title would take a lot longer than 6 months. Then she has to uproot laws and policies, she said so herself, in order to allow the demolition of Cardiff Castle, and that alone, again, would take longer than 6 months. And we are now seeing that it is well into development, with architectural plans that she can't have made herself due to her claiming ignorance to Cathy Saltleitner. So overall, we are talking years for this plan to work, and that's assuming good footing and no flaws. Nowhere near the 6 months from a skip on the Isle of Dogs to here. And this whole plan is especially silly, considering that she had a ship hidden in the Thames. She could have teleported herself within minutes of arriving at the Isle of Dogs to escape the planet, which is her entire goal that she has been working towards for the last 6 months.
But I give you my personal guarantee that as long as I walk upon this earth, no harm will come to any of my citizens.
Her personal guarantee means nothing here, as she clearly has enough distance to be able to act clueless about nuclear physics to Mr. Cleaver and Cathy Salts.
The funny thing is, when you start piecing it all together, it does begin to look a bit odd.
In what way?
The deaths. The number of deaths associated with this project. First of all, there was the entire team of the European safety inspectors. And then there was that accident with the Cardiff Heritage Committee. And the architects. Recently, Mr. Cleaver, the government's nuclear advisor.
So this is all clearly supposed to show that Margaret killed her way to success. But the problem is that most of these people needed to approve the change. If they die before they say yes, somebody else still needs to say yes. Their death does not mean that you can proceed.
Before he died, Mr. Cleaver posted some of his findings online.
So Mr. Cleaver was smart enough to post online and lie to Margaret, yet still confronts her in private.
My poor tummy is complaining.
I know that according to my own rules I should cloister the farts, but it kinda adds to the feel of impending doom somehow. We know what this means, and it is signalling Cathy getting closer and closer to getting killed. I'm actually impressed by how deep meaning they've got in these farts. So, I'm adding a cloister on for the farts, and then I'm removing a cloister because of the deep meaning of the farts. That is not something I ever thought I'd say.
Maybe I'm cursed.
Oh, no, I don't think so. Not really.
You're very kind.
I don't think you are cursed doesn't really sound kind. The doctor just rips the paper out of a man's hand, and the man doesn't do anything about it. What is it with Celine and having one single frame or line with a dozen cloisters? First of all, when Margaret is being photographed, she notices it when the flash goes off, so the picture's already been taken, and then she raises her hand to shield her face, and demands not to be photographed. However, in the picture of the newspaper, she's shown with her hand already raised. Also, if she's able to knock down Cardiff Castle, she should be able to stop that picture getting printed. The Western Mail is a daily newspaper. A daily newspaper means that it would have been printed in the early hours of the morning going into that, which means that it would have been printed before the meeting that picture was taking place in. Also, how has no one like Unit or her co-workers at MI5 discovered her by now? This can't be her first slip-up.
To intelligence, the target is the last surviving member of the Slitheen family, a criminal...
Jack just calls her the last surviving Slitheen, yet we know that there are many Slitheen alive. She's just the last one on Earth, apparently. Also, bear in mind they don't know how she escaped yet. How do they know that she is alone? Also, bear in mind that she is not the last one on Earth at all, as shown in Surgeon Adventures. Where is he getting his intel from, and why is it so wrong?
To intelligence, the target is the last surviving member of the Slitheen family, a criminal sect from the planet Rexicorical masquerading as a human being zipped inside a skin suit. Okay.
I love this scene, and I love the way that Jack's the one in command and all that lot. But he is the one person here that has no reason to know about the Slitheen, so why is he the one explaining it all?
A basic 57-56 strategy covering...
How the hell are they supposed to know what a 57-56 strategy is? Especially considering when I Google it, I can't find anything about it. Which means it's probably not some Earth lingo.
After you go face to face, that'll designate exit 1. I'll cover exit 2. Rose, you exit 3. Mickey Smith, you take exit 4. Have you got...
How do they all know what the designated exits are? Mickey can't be blamed for messing up here.
Excuse me. Who's in charge?
Sorry, awaiting orders, sir.
Right, here's the plan. Like you said, nice plan. Anything else?
Damn it, 9, every episode.
Speed dial? Yep. Ready?
What we see them use later is not a speed dial but a conference call. Also, the Doctor's been shown many times not to have a mobile phone, and Jack's mobile phone is way too outdated for someone from the 51st century. Maybe they went back to the TARDIS to get them, but if that's the case, why are they still discussing plans here in the lobby? And also, why would they not just have something that's a bit better, like a containment field or something?
Just an old friend passing by, bit of a surprise. Can't wait to see her face.
Neither can we. Her face is going to be hilarious. I can't wait till they show it on screen. Wait a minute. They don't? And I have another one for teasing us.
Just an old friend passing by, bit of a surprise. Can't wait to see her face.
Well, she's just having a cup of tea.
Having a cup of tea. Having a cup of tea, that is literally the worst excuse I have ever heard. Especially in deterring a friend from dropping by, where usually what you would do is offer him a cup of tea. In a meeting or out to lunch are better excuses and would stop at least one person in the entire universe from insisting.
Doctor Who.
Roll credits.
The Lord Mayor says thank you for popping by. She'd love to have a chat, but she's up to her eyes in paperwork.
That's a lie. What she said is so much more interesting and less family friendly than that.
She's climbing out the window, isn't she?
Yes, she is.
He gives up that information and moves out of the way far too easily.
Leave the mayor alone!
A second ago, he gave away her escape plan and moved out of the way. Why is he now physically fighting the Doctor?
Teleport, that's cheating! Now we're never gonna get her!
Oh, the Doctor's very good at teleports.
First off, screwdriver ex machina. Secondly, last time we saw him reverse a teleport, he had to find a teleport device to reverse it. Why is it now just a single button press from the screwdriver?
What did I ever do to you?
You tried to kill me and destroy this entire planet.
The Doctor says that as if it was two separate things, but she never actually tried to kill the Doctor, except when she was going to blow up the planet he was on. But that's the point I'm making.
And there's someone in London checking this sort of stuff.
Oh, Cardiff. London doesn't care. That's how...
Plus, they did send people, but Margaret killed them.
God help me, I've gone native.
God help me? Does that mean that the Slitheen have a god? Is it one of our gods? Is it maybe a different god? Who knows? Haven't I said all this before?
Fantastic. Is that a tribophysical waveform macrokinetic extrapolator?
Couldn't have put it better myself.
If you actually break down what those words mean, tribophysical waveform macrokinetic... Tribophysical waveform macrokinetic... Tribophysical waveform macrokinetic extrapolator actually is a really good name for it. It describes what it does perfectly. Minus one cloister.
The name.
What?
Why is the banner not translating? Also, why would she use Bad Wolf as the name of this project? Not exactly confidence building on the scary project to the Welsh speakers that would know what that means instantly.
Cinemasins.
13 years on, I still want to know what the person that made that name was on.
It's not compatible, but it should knock off about 12 hours.
If it was not compatible, that would mean it would do nothing.
Didn't really need my passport.
Clarifying it as a lie, which was a really bad lie to begin with, doesn't really help. You have still dragged Mickey 150 miles across the country, 3 hours by train, and you aren't even going to stick to the reason that you said you were bringing him. You could have easily had the Doctor flip a few switches, go to London first, pick up Mickey if you really wanted to spend time with him, but no, you don't want to do that. You want to inconvenience him majorly, not bother seeing your mother.
Do you have to go and tell him?
It's none of his business.
However, if you're going to vanish for the night, it is good manners to tell people.
I didn't butcher them.
He has a point. Mickey butchered them. Mickey even made the choice to fire the missile. He could have easily said no.
Dinner in bondage.
I was having a discussion with a friend the other day, and we realised that Series 1 is a 12 where the rest of Doctor Who is a PG. And we were trying to figure out why. Think I've just got the answer.
Dinner in bondage.
Also, they're having a discussion about bondage and Billie Piper is not in the room. In my opinion, the dinner scene is one of the best scenes in this show. It really pains me to have to add cloisters. So I'm going to remove 3 cloisters to ease my conscience of destroying this scene.
Lon Filfoch Pasimir de Slovene.
Gesundheit.
That's what it'll say on my death certificate.
Do Raxacoricophalopatorians have death certificates? Seems like an odd thing for aliens to have, especially ones as primal as the Raxacoricophalopatorians sound.
A female Raxacoricophalopatorian can manufacture a poison dart within her own finger.
Yes, I did.
Don't explain the weapon you're about to use. Shoot, then explain.
As a final resort, the excess poison can be exhaled through the lungs.
Had he just been a second or two slower, the Doctor probably would have died to either of these attempts. The problem is that she gave away the element of a surprise, which would have probably swayed it in her favour.
They prepare a thin acetic acid, lower me into the cauldron, and boil me. The acidity is perfectly gauged to strip away the skin. Internal organs fall out into the liquid, and I become soup, and still alive.
Thanks for that horribly disgusting, gruesome description.
You left me! We were nice. We were happy. And then what, you give me a kiss and you run off with him and you make me feel like nothing, Rose. I was nothing.
I love that this has gone into. Originally I cloistered a load of crap about Trisha Delaney and all that lot that we don't care about. But ultimately it all leads to this. To Mickey actually managing to harden and showing how hard it is on the ones left behind. A subject that I don't feel is done justice, but is addressed quite a lot. And this is one of the best times that it comes up. I'm going to remove a cloister because of how well they do this.
From what I've seen, your funny little happy-go-lucky life leaves devastation in its wake. Always moving on, because you dare not look back.
Damn it, I've already removed cloisters for this dinner scene. Fine, screw it, take another 3 off.
Don't think you're running away.
Oh, I'm sticking with you.
If you're going to run the rest of the way holding hands, why waste time removing the cuffs? The cracks are far too clean, there's no debris or anything. It's almost like someone added them in post-production of a TV show. Speaking of those cracks, whenever it's shown flat on, the cracks always disappear, but whenever it's shown from the top looking down, the cracks reappear. I'm just going to add 1 cloister to cover the whole lot.
She's an egg.
Regress to a childhood.
She's an egg.
She can start again. Live a life from scratch. If we take her home, give her to a different family, tell them to bring her up properly, she might be all right.
Or she might be worse.
That's her choice.
She's an egg.
I do really like this ending. It's nice and it's ambiguous, but it does make the whole moral issues kind of moot. The decision the Doctor has to make is never made, and he once again escapes consequences.
How's Mickey?
He's okay, he's gone.
Do you want to go and find him? We'll wait.
No need. He deserves better.
This looks like it's going to be a turning point for Rose in how she treats her family and Mickey, and if it was, I would probably remove a dozen cloisters, but it isn't. In fact, she seems to get worse from here on in. But that's cloisters for another video.
Next stop, Raxacoricophalopatorius.
Oh boy, I can't wait to see Raxacorico. Hang on. This is where it ends? Oh. Okay, bonus round time, and oh boy, I love this episode. I think this episode is fantastic. It's just too good. It is light-hearted and fun, yet at the same time deep and dark. It asks the big ethics questions, like whether the Doctor should take Margaret back, whether he is a killer or whether he is a hero, and deals with the real emotion, like Mickey getting left behind, yet is light and fluffy too. It's amazing how well these episodes work with such clashing tones. The characters really shine here as well. This gives Mickey in a new light, it shows him much harder. Jack is a perfect follow-up to his time beforehand. It reinforces the love for Doctor, and although I give Rose a lot of negative in this episode, we do see her develop. Maybe not in the way that I like, but it's still development. And Blonde adds a whole new layer to the show. We've gotten comfortable with the black and white, the Doctor is right, the villains are wrong, but now it's gone and gotten shaken up, where we see Blonde as potentially not as in the bad as she should be. This episode may seem like pointless filler to a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people say that, but it really does ask great to set up to the next episode. The themes from this episode follow on. So we've got the Doctor's actions having consequences, which is a big theme next episode. We've got the long dead enemies returning, Bad Wolf in the spotlight, the ethics of the Doctor, which are again put to the test, and even Mickey and Rose's subplot about Rose leaving Mickey behind, they're all relevant to the next episode, to the finale. Despite all of this crammed in there though, it is still one of the more enjoyable light episodes. I think that it is just a really good episode with the way that it manages both tones. So that gives Boomtown a final close count of 59 and a sentence of...
The Cornetto is the best. You will like, comment and subscribe.
Bondage with Blonde.